Tonight on the Mac to the Future livecast Go, many accusing Apple of not living up to its privacy claims, while the government says Apple's not doing enough to prevent crime and criminals that use their iPhones as a shield. New, cheaper iPhone in March, according to some reports, and Apple's A13 ARM processor is ramping up in orders to meet demands for iPhone 11s. All of that tonight and more, so much more on the Mac to the Future livecast. Go. And hello, everyone. Why is that still coming up? We'll get rid of that right there. It is the Mac to the Future livecast, and as usual, I have two people with me tonight. I have Mr. Warren Sklar. Hello there, Mr. Warren Sklar.
Oh, it's me. Hey,
yeah.
How you doing? I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. I changed your title a little bit.
Back to the Future. Yes, Pro Bowler. I am going to Orlando to watch the Pro Bowl. Leaving Friday night and coming back Monday. We're going to go to Universal Studios for one day, and we're going to
nice. Make sure you go to see the Mummy ride, the indoor coaster.
Okay. Everybody says
an awesome coaster.
Everybody's like, go do Harry Potter. We don't like Harry Potter, so I don't know.
No, that stuff is fun too. And
so that should be good.
We also have Mr. Dave Ginsburg. Hello, sir.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, doing fine. How are you, sir?
Just doing so well. I'm glad to be here. It's a crazy Wednesday here this week.
Yeah. That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I got. We got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Save it for the show.
There's actually, and we're getting some comments in. So I guess the problems that I've had in the past, at least for now, are going away, which is nice. Now, last week, of course, I was using StreamYard, and for comments that I thought that worked really, really well. It was the one thing that it did better than Mimo, which we're back to using this week. And that doesn't mean that I had planned on, abandoning Mimo as a streaming platform, because I really liked it. The other problem I had with last week's show was my audio was really, really low. And I couldn't tell from the interface that it was low, which Mimo gives me all kinds of options along those lines. So at least for now, unless somebody wants to give me $240 to spend for a year of StreamYard, which I don't see happening anytime soon, I'm going to be sticking with Mimo. And it's a good program. Talking about StreamYard, and if it meets your needs for the free version, then wonderful. But I just think Mimo is, in most ways, is a better program. But we're not going to, this isn't the Boink Software Mimo to the Future livecast. We got a couple of quick takes here.
Dave,
Go ahead, Warren.
No, I was just going to say, strangely enough, Dave and I, we sounded okay from what I understand.
Yeah, we sound really good.
Yeah, you guys sounded great, but I was like, you could barely hear me.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. Okay.
All right, quick takes. Is anyone sad that the butterfly keyboard is going away? Do either one of you have a computer that uses the butterfly keyboard?
Yeah, a couple. I have one.
Yes.
My son has one.
Any problems with him?
No, it's fine. I'm a good person to ask, and maybe Dave is too, but I had, you ready? Don't hate me. I had the 2015 MacBook when it first came out with the butterfly. I had the 2015 12-inch MacBook, 2016 12-inch MacBook, 2017 MacBook, 2015 16, 17, 18, and 19 Pros. And then I had the 2018 Air. So
why were you replacing them every year other than that you could?
It's just something I do.
Okay.
It's just something, yes, it's on my thing.
I'm still on to 15.
So I could tell you,
big bankroll.
Yeah. Well, I sell them and I buy. But what I could tell you is, so about 8, within the last 4 years, about 8 butterfly keyboard models. Once I had a problem with, I think it was a 2016, the MacBook 12-inch.
The old ones.
Yeah, on the 16th 12-inch. Once I had a problem, and Apple just replaced the top case, and that was it. So it's more hyped up than it really is.
Okay.
The keyboard's not, it's not the best keyboard in the world, but it's not terrible. The 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch has the new one in it. It is better. You could feel the keys.
It's not so much, isn't it? It's basically the same keyboard they were using before, right?
No,
the scissor style.
Redesigned. It's scissor, but it's been redesigned. Even supposedly it uses the same style as the Magic keyboard, the separate keyboard that you could buy from Apple. So it's basically
share away, Wang. Share that sucker.
Wang.
No, not Wang. Wang.
You said Wang. You said Wang. Anyway,
no, I said Wang.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, the keys are not as high, but they still travel well. Is what it is.
Shares hit new heights.
Yes,
that was.
I have the 2019, and the keyboard's fine. Well,
okay,
simple.
All right. Next up, before Apple goes portless, will they replace Lightning with USB-C for iOS devices?
Yep, probably.
They're kind of already moving in that direction with the iPad Pro. Were any of the other recently released iPads with USB-C, or were they all still Lightning?
No,
just a Pro. Just
the Pro was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they're waiting. Why not just do it across the board?
We got new iPads on the horizon.
I want one so bad. I'm still on the original 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and it's fine. 128 of storage.
It's perfect.
I want more. Number one, I want more storage. Even though I don't necessarily... Oh, stop it, you. Even though I don't necessarily need it, I still want it.
It's nice. We both have the 11-inch, the new ones, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, I've been happy that they haven't released another one in a while because
then you have to go and buy it,
right? So I always convince myself. That I'm not going to buy the next one, but that never works out. But it really is the 11-inch. The 11-inch is beautiful, and the new design.
Everything is beautiful in its own way. All right, last quick take. Jeff Bezos claims his Bezos. You say Bezos, I say Bezos. Claims his iPhone was hacked through a WhatsApp message from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has this been verified, or is this more crap? Or is this just basically what he's saying happened?
He's saying that he received a video through WhatsApp and opened it, and from that, it was installed some kind of hacking software that is linked back to some Arab guy. So that's what he's saying.
Has this happened to other iOS users? I'm going to go with Dave on this one.
Has it happened to other iOS users?
Or was it an older version of WhatsApp that this had a problem with? Because I know Apple has pulled and re-released a lot of different developers' software.
Well, old versions of software shouldn't
confirm.
matter.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It's not.
It's hard to say.
There's just something about this story that makes me go, really? You have a multi-billion-dollar company with all kinds of resources, and your phone got hacked with a WhatsApp video. I'm not feeling it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Yeah, I'll just say, the only thing I'll say is, 99.9% of the world doesn't have to worry about this, but
Beeb!
Jeff Bezos might. So if somebody was going to get hacked with an elaborate, very intricate hacking attempt, it would be him. Whether it's true or not, we don't know.
Frank says you're worth more than Apple.
I know. I can see the comments right there. Yeah, right there. I see.
And Habib Owens, thank you so much for showing up, dude. Haven't talked to you in a really long time. He and I work together at various places, which we won't discuss here on the TV show.
Did he hack Jeff Bezos' phone too?
Bezos.
Well, you say Bezos, I say Bezos. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of, but he's a good guy. Now you guys have a couple of things that you were kind of showing off before we got started. And let's go in order of what probably costs more money. So we'll start with Dave.
Cost more money? I don't know about that. I did interview these folks at CES.
At CES, and they just sent it to you. Now, are you going to do a review on it for MyMac or In Touch or anything like that?
We'll probably do a review on In Touch. This is the box. It's the this way. The My Charge. It's a 10,050 milliamp turbo charge. It charges 75% faster than most batteries that I've seen.
Okay, make sure you put a link in the show notes, and I'll put it in with it.
Yep,
we have show notes.
We do.
It's
really okay.
It's got two connectors here: a USB-C and a Lightning, so you can charge them simultaneously. It'll charge an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro in 50% in about 30 minutes. So it's super fast. The plug chargers, all of these batteries, you have to have a separate plug to plug these in. It's got the built-in prongs right there. So
how long does that take to charge?
It takes when it's fully dead, 3 hours tops.
Okay, that's not bad.
So, battery level indicator right there at the top there, and then it has a throughput USB-C plug right there as well, so you can plug in any other device in there as well.
Oh, while it's charging.
Oh, it's charging. Yep. So
so you could use that, actually plug that into the wall, plug your laptop into that, and then you're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Yep. Good.
Okay, Warren. Whoops, sorry.
The nice thing about it is it's small size. This is the smallest battery I've ever seen for this amount of charge. I bought the Anker batteries. I bought all these other ones, and I'm pretty impressed. And the cost is this is the 10,050 milliamp. It's $99.99, and they also have a 6500, which is I think like $69.99. They're sold both at Best Buy and Amazon.
And how many times will it charge an iOS device, or does it say?
I think it could probably charge an iPhone at least 5-6 times.
Really?
Before the battery run out. It's
if you're planning on being in coach class on Air Australia or whatever, on your way to Australia, you won't have to worry about running out of juice. All right.
You might be okay.
Warren, what about yours?
Well, let me ask you guys first.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a hotel room with with both your laptops, 2 iPads, a watch, your Apple Watch, your cell phone, your Apple? So you have your Apple, you got your iPhone, you got your watch, 2 laptops, and 2 iPads, and you're like thinking to yourself, how am I going to charge all this and not have to bring everything?
What am I going to do? Tell us, Warren.
I've been in this situation before.
I bet you have.
from this company that I've sort of heard from, which has a great name called Zero Lemon, which means it's not a lemon. It's zero. Can you see it? There you go. From Zero Lemon, which is a great name because
okay,
you want a lemon. This is not a battery. It plugs in with AC in the back. It's not a crazy big device. It's about the size of.
Oh, so it just has a lot of ports on it.
Hold on, I'll get to that. It's a little bit wider. It's a little bit wider than it's a little bit shorter. And you know what? Don't move. Don't just stop moving. Here. That's an iPhone 10 Max, 11 Pro Max, and this is the thing. So it's about the same size, a little bit bigger. So anyhow, in front, and there we go. We have two USB-C ports. One's 87 watts. The other one is 29 watts, amps.
Probably no. Well, it wouldn't be amps. Believe me, you wouldn't have 87 amps running through that thing.
Yeah, you could. So you could charge
like a laptop.
Well, you could charge a 16 inch Pro and like a 13-inch Air Pro at the same time. Two regular USB. Two USBs over there as well. On top, you got Qi.
Oh, nice.
Qi wireless charging. And this area here charges the watch. You put the watch on there. And it was normally $99.99. There was a sale. So I got for $60. It shipped from probably another country far, far away. But it works. And
Alderon.
Alderon's gone, my friend. Alderon's and it comes with this great mesh so it's like a mesh carrying case, and after you're done charging,
so it's almost translucent.
You can rob banks when you're done with that.
And it's lightweight.
Yeah, just
or give it to a stripper.
Give it to a stripper. It's pretty light, so it's going to go in the bag pretty well. I'll charge everything with that.
Nice. Okay.
I'm proud of it.
I would be too. I've got I don't have it here in front of me. It's just this little power supply that you plug in. It's got 4 USB ports on the bottom. It charges up to 4 devices, but not anywhere near as fast as either one of those things that you guys have. And it's certainly not portable. It has to be plugged in. But it works out okay, I guess.
Is it from Alderon?
No, I think it was from Coruscant.
Okay.
God, where am I pulling these from? So bad. All right, well, let's move on to the main stories.
Yes.
The first one is Apple is not doing enough. No, wait. It's doing too much in the name of privacy. The story from CNET. The president is accusing Apple of having the keys to halt criminals in their tracks and is using the waivers granted during the trade wars with China as a stick. The DOJ and Attorney General chimed in, criticizing Apple's lack of help during the investigation of the Pensacola Air Station shoot-ins. I got shoe-ins, so that's weird. Shoot-ins last month. Apple responded by saying they cooperate with all legal requests for iCloud backups and other account information, and that there's no way to ensure that the government's request for a backdoor into iOS will remain in the hands of the good guys, assuming, of course, that the government is the good guys. Okay. We were kind of discussing this earlier, and there was a question in the Mac to the Future group about how all this works. And I'll start off by saying that if you encrypt your backups are encrypted and Apple can't do anything with them. But if your backups are encrypted and you lose your key, then also no one can save you. So for the most part, backups that you use with iCloud are relatively safe. Apple can see them. Apple, upon a government request done through the courts, will give those backups to law enforcement if requested by a legal source to do so. And that's, this is how that's been for a while. Apple does protect your privacy, certainly more than almost every other company that's out there that does similar things to what Apple is doing. However, they don't live in a vacuum. They have to follow the same laws as every other company and every other individual in the countries in which they do business in. This is why it should be more concerning in areas, let's just say other parts of the world, where by law, Apple doesn't have control of your iCloud backups that you should be concerned about if you live in those countries. Now, did I get any of that wrong?
No.
I don't think so. There was
a okay. Well, let's get your take on this, Warren.
So the question that people were asking is what's encrypted and what's not when you go to
iCloud,
go to Apple's, right? Yeah. iCloud. So you got a couple things. You got the data that lives on iCloud. Not talking about backups. We're talking about live data like your photos, contacts, calendar,
messages,
settings. Yeah, messages that are stored. Messaging actually all these have an option whether you want to store them in the cloud or not, pretty much. Messages too. And so there's things that are in the iCloud that are always there. And then, as you said, there's backups. There's iCloud backups. As far as I know, I don't think so.
Whoops.
Yeah, somebody's coming. Yeah, of course, when somebody calls me, my whole house rings because I got iOS devices everywhere. So anyways, the train of thought. So the question is, what's encrypted? Is it any of it? Is it both of it? Is it one of it? So I think Apple's problem is they wanted to encrypt almost everything. They were told that's probably not a good idea. Not only because of government requests, but also because of from an IT support standard, when people call up and say, I lost this, I lost that.
And I don't remember my password.
I don't remember this or whatever, they could help. So there's reasons. So there, people are asking, IT is asking, Apple's asking, what's more important to you, your privacy or being able to get your data back if you had a problem. And that's the answer right now. And I think add that to the list of the government, not wanting it to be encrypted. I think that's where we're going with that. So that's how I understand it. If you guys know anything else, right now, the issue with the shooter that they're talking about, or the shooter.
Sorry.
Yeah. The issue, with the shooter is it's the same with the other cases, not the data that Apple could get back, but getting onto the actual phone to see if there's anything on the actual phone that's not in the cloud to recover. So that's what it is.
Okay.
In my opinion, me personally, I'd rather have the encryption security because me and my family are pretty good with. We've never had an incident where we had to count on Apple to recover data or get data back from us because we kind of know what to do, or I know what to do and what to tell them. But there's plenty of people not in that situation.
As savvy.
So, yeah. So I could understand if you ask them, their answer would be, I don't care what. What's encrypted. I don't even know what encryption is. I forgot my password. Help, kind of thing. So,
and I need the pictures of my kitties.
I need the kitty picture back.
Okay, Dave, let's go to you.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I I agree. I mean, I don't agree with that the government should have any right to get to these devices. You know, this is coming from the president, from the White House. It just doesn't happen. It needs to stay secure. I just don't agree at all that they should have access to that at all. As long as they are they keep the encryption going, you're fine. So I wouldn't sweat it.
Okay, now remember as well that we're talking about two different things here. There's right. The data backups and all the information that is kept within iCloud that's not necessarily always kept on the phone, because if you had your thousands upon thousands of pictures on your phone, you would need a phone with a lot more storage than most people have. And then there's the information that is kept on your phone. That's the stuff that right. Apple cannot give. Even upon, you can request until the cows come home. You can request through the Supreme Court if you want.
Right.
Apple can't give it to you, or can't give it to the government.
And that's all done with the passcode lock. Basically, right. The passcode lock on your phone, if you have, you know, a 4-digit some of these people have 4-digit passwords, which is laughable as far as security goes. But, you know, if you give it to, you know, a police officer, you know, they're going to lock the phone out before they figure out the password. So
right.
That's why these gray keys work on that. Basically, the gray keys will figure out combinations of the password. And what it does, supposedly, from what I understand, is it images somehow it keeps kind of like
a fresh copy.
Yeah, like a frozen in time copy of the phone as it is, and then basically just tries every password combination until it figures it out.
Right. And essentially, it'll do it. You know, from the way I understand it, it will continue with the same fresh version of the data until just before you're going to get the password lock, and then it re-images and then starts it all over again until it hits. But right. Regardless, they're basically taking your data and trying all the different combinations over and over and over again until they get to the one that is the magic button. Yep. The fact that, and it's not just the United States, it's lots of other countries as well that would love to have a backdoor into iOS, because then they don't have to go through the courts. If they can get a hold of your phone, they can plug some magic thing in or use some various little bits of code, get into your phone, get all the information they want, and then they're done with it. And this is a terrible idea for anyone who looks at their data in such a way that they don't necessarily want the government to have access to it. You know, there's absolutely no reason for 99.999% of us to ever have the government look at our stuff. And if somebody needs to have access to it because we've done something terrible, well, then they have these other methods to get to it. So I think Apple should stick to their guns and not allow for a backdoor into iOS, because there's no way that the government, whoever's government, would be able to keep this secret. Eventually it would leak out and then nobody's phone would be secure.
There's no indication that they are creating a backdoor. So at this point they're not. Unfortunately, with all the publicity is, if criminals are smart enough now, they'll know A, not to use iCloud, and B, to put on a password or
just encrypt all their stuff. Once you throw on 128-bit or 256-bit encryption, and
on your iPhone.
Yeah.
How?
Well, I mean, you can basically get apps onto your phone without going through the iOS App Store. I mean, there are ways to do that, and there are applications out there that will allow you to put encryption on your data.
You could jailbreak your phone, if that's what you're saying.
But yeah, more or less.
Well, that's the only way to get iOS apps on your phone. Without
there are businesses that have specialized applications.
MDMs, yeah, and test flight. There's a few other ways, but they're heavily regulated.
Yep. And lockdown. You can only have them
because it would be illegal for criminals to do that, is what you're saying.
No, the Apple has to approve all that to happen. No, all I'm saying is, criminals now know for the most part don't use cloud services and put a long password on your phone, and that's going to give you the most amount of time for somebody to find your data on your phone.
Sure,
more or less.
Okay, let's
or just smash it. Why wouldn't they just smash the phone before? Seriously, I don't that
because they still think they'll get away. It's GTA 5. iPhone cheap. New report says cheap iPhone with 4.7-inch screen and Touch ID, and then they go way out on a limb, saying that new high-end iPhones later this year will have better specs, better cameras, and 5G. Because that's living on the cutting edge of speculation right there. Do you guys think that now? The iPhone. What is the current one? The XR. Is that the current cheap iPhone?
11.
It's still being sold. Yeah, that's the cheapest.
Okay, it's still being sold, but the current cheap iPhone is technically the 11. If that's
the 11 is the cheap one, right?
Okay, so if they came out with an iPhone with slightly older technology, but was still capable of running iOS 13 with reasonable speed and reasonable storage requirements, do you think that this would be the magic bullet that would spur like large amounts of iPhone sales? I never really heard what the specs were for the original iPhone SE, how much they boosted sales, because that came out during the huge ramp up between the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 7. So, Apple sales were going through the roof anyway. So would a cheap iPhone really boost sales, especially, say, in less developed markets? Warren says yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Is it going to boost sales? Why? It's another. Why wouldn't it? People buy it. People.
Well, but it would also cannibalize. It could potentially cannibalize your higher end sales.
Maybe, but there's a good amount of people that will, that want an iPhone and want to pay the least amount possible. I have friends that way. So there's a lot of people that would do that. And from what happens is they ask people, would you recommend? Because you could still buy an 8 now, right? If you could still buy the 8.
Buy the 7.
Yeah.
Well, no, not from Apple. No, I don't think you could buy the 8 from Apple. Maybe. Well, anyway, I think you could still go to the Apple store and buy an 8. For some reason, and people have asked,
why not?
Right. People will say, should I get that? And, I'll say, probably not. It's old. But if there was, this thing coming out that was,
yeah, that's
this
true.
is cheap and asked me, then I would say,
right.
I would say, yeah, go for it. As long as, it all comes down to, as long as the software can run current, all the features don't matter to some people.
Because most people don't use them anyway. Frank Petrie has a couple of comments. 5G isn't fully baked. It's a marketing ploy.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, but it's one of the big features that's supposedly coming up in all these phones right now. People were saying that, the iPhone was going to be doomed if, the iPhone 11 didn't have 5G in it, which even at the time that the 11 was coming out was just nonsense, since there was very little 5G coverage, and there still really isn't a lot of 5G coverage. No. And the other thing he says, you're better off cannibalizing yourself, which is very true. That's the lesson Apple learned during the Clone Wars.
In 2 years, when 5G is
seriously
available,
yeah,
when 5G is more available in a few years, and people still have these 11 series or older phones, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel that they need to upgrade.
The radio waves baking their brains.
Not everybody's like you, Warren.
Not everything, but everybody wants faster internet.
Sure.
Sure.
That's the thing. So, believe me, if I'm out there with a slow internet connection and my friend's next to me with a fast one, and I have to get a new phone to get the fast connection, that might be something that most people want to do that. So,
well, I mean, eventually we're looking at wireless, and whether it's 5G or whatever comes next, as being the way that most people will probably connect even through their homes, as physical cables start to go away. The last story we have for the evening, Apple's A13 processor, which is ARM based, is apparently ramping up due to rampant iPhone 11 demand. So most of the higher demand seems to be coming from China, with the iPhone 11 outselling the iPhone XR, mostly due to a lower price. This is good news for TSCM or TCSM, the Taiwanese company is one of the companies that makes the ARM based A13 processor, which is pretty much a system on a chip for Apple, which is used in both the iPhone and iPads. If there's a huge amount of demand, and I mean, we're only really about 4 to 5 months into the iPhone 11 cycle, and we're looking at 6 to 8 months of time before we get into whatever the next phone is going to be called, which in a fit of originality will probably be the iPhone 12. So
it's going to be the iPhone 9. They're like, shit,
well, that's what they're supposed to be calling the cheap one.
Crap, we forgot a number. Yeah, well, considering, speaking of the cheap one, it's supposed to use the same chip though, the A13 chip. So are they ramping up production for that as well? Is that part of it?
Right.
We don't know.
No, but Huawei is kind of being left out in the cold with all of the issues that company is having with the U.S. government currently. But that's, unless you guys have anything else, that's all I have for this evening.
I was going to throw another comment here about the iPhone 11. I think the iPhone 11 is really selling well in the U.S. too. I mean, you got a lot of carriers are giving away the iPhone 11, or they're offering you to buy 2, get 1 free. I mean, I was just helping some folks at work. They bought 3 new iPhone 11s and they paid next to nothing for them, and they traded in their iPhone 8s. And so I think that's really where it's going. Is the 11 is the demand for the 11 is high, and that's really what was driving it more so than anything else.
Yeah, I'm still on my 8.
Nobody wants these crappy Pros, Maxes. They all want the 11. The rumor is
to save money.
The rumor.
Well, I mean, they're all over $1,000.
The 11 isn't.
The 11 isn't. It's a little bit lower. 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one, the new phone next year is going to be blue. Blue.
Oh, is that going to be the hotness, the new hotness color? This year it was green. It's kind of light military green.
I have my midnight green phone.
Yeah.
That's what you got, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, I have the midnight green.
Yeah.
So do I.
So the color next year is going to be blue?
Blue, yes.
Yeah. And how do you know that?
The rumor mill.
Ah.
He reads a lot of rumors.
Good old Wang Che Kuo or whatever his name is.
Wang is the other guy.
Yeah.
Who's sharing our podcast.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
The thing with the colors, I don't know. The story with the colors is that it was like a whole process. It's not just as easy as like making a color. Like there was a whole like backstory on how they were able to make the midnight green color happen. So it's a thing, it's
a thing.
Yeah. Many people died.
Many Bothans died to bring us this new iPhone color.
Many people died to bring us this new iPhone.
Okay, well, I think
Colonel
that
Green.
is
Colonel
on
Green.
that note.
That is going to do it for this evening. Mr.
Vader.
Warren, if people wanted to get a hold of you, what would they have to do?
Guatemala sounds right. to me about now. So
yeah. Now, when it says pro bowler, does it mean you do a lot of like 10-pin bowling or?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. I could get about 170 on a good day if I really
nice.
tried, but
better than me.
Yeah, on a good day. On a bad day, I'm about 70, or a normal day, about 70. You can find me here. You can find me on the Facebooks. You can find me on the Back to the Future Facebook group. You could find me doing In Touch with iOS. You could find me. You could find me. That's it. That's where you
on
can find
the walls of the better post offices everywhere.
That's only the finest post office. Probably at the Apple Store too, if you really look hard enough.
Okay, what about you, Dave?
You can find me on intouchwithios.com with my co-host, this guy named Warren.
Him.
Yeah, that guy.
Heard of him.
And intouchwithios.com, find me there. And president of the Apple user group in Chicago. Always having fun with that. And Twitter, DaveG65. I'm active on there as well.
Okay, if you would like to help support some of the crazy stuff that I do, you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/MacParrot. And a PayPal page, but that gets harder and harder to say. PayPal.me/MacParrot. Of course, I also do the MyMac.com podcast. Gaz and I just did our 500th episode last week. It was show 785. It was.
The bumpers were good.
So much fun. We had so much fun with that show, playing everybody's bumpers that were...
Carl Madden, he's funny.
Carl Madden is a bumper genius. Genius.
Yeah, he knows his
ass.
Stuff. He knows how to bump.
He does. He's a bumping kind of guy. And of course,
British bumper.
On rare occasions, I still do Guys Daily Drive.
Rare.
Very rare. Much rarer than I probably should be doing. You can reach me on the Twitters, MacParrot or VertShark. What else? I think that's about it.
Yep.
So, thanks to everyone. Well, let me hit find the right button here. Thanks to everyone who has come and joined us this evening. We really, really do appreciate the fact that you take your time out of your busy day on Wednesday nights to come see Warren and David and myself here on the Mac.
4 of us. Yep.
To the Future live cast. There will be an audio version of this show available in the Guys Daily Drive feed. So if you would like to revisit it, or just if you miss it on a particular evening, you can catch it there. Also over on the YouTubes, there'll be the slightly edited version of this. And I think that's it, guys. So thanks to all of you for joining me this evening. Mr. Warren, Mr. David.
I won't be on the after show. I'll be playing one.
We have no lives. Guys, occasional jaunt.
No after show.
Frank, you are in rare
form.
Be on
the after show. Yeah.
No, you guys are both heading out when I hit the button.
Yeah, I gotta play with my power supply.
Okay, sounds.
Mine too. No.
Yeah, we're gonna be charging. If you cut back to us, we'll both have like cables inserted into our ears and our nose. And, we'll have the little steam coming from our heads.
Okay. All right. That doesn't fill me with dread at all. So thanks everyone for joining us this evening. Almost. No. Hello there, Warren's son.
Hello.
Oh,
hello.
He's got to get on picture on screen.
Do you want to get on? There he is.
There he is.
Yep,
yeah. Okay.
I told him we're going to the Pro Bowl and you're getting into the XFL. Yes.
Yeah, me too. DC Defenders rule, man. The DC Defenders rule.
New York Guardians.
Blah. We'll see you all next week. Good night.
Good night.